Hi everyone, welcome. Welcome. It's so nice to see your faces. So you can put yourself on camera so I can see your beautiful faces. I'm going to start the broadcast on Facebook. Just 1 minute. All right, we are live. Okay, welcome, welcome. Welcome to this Priestess Activation Masterclass. Still some people joining us either on the Zoom room. Hi Anne, yes, stepping in from the Northeast England. Thank you so much for showing up. So I have to start by saying that, this really came through yesterday morning and I just followed through the intuition. I put the invitation out there. I prepared a presentation for you in the afternoon yesterday. So if you're here, just know that you're really meant to receive. If you made it here on the last minute like that, this is for you, and you really get to receive everything as if, as this was just for you because it is. Good morning, you Earth. Hello, Lauren, with your glowing energy of light. And I'm so glad to be in your presence, to feel your energy, see your faces. This is really my zone, Vanessa. And I see new faces. Hello, Nancy, Kristen from Sweden, Karina, Adrienne, hello, Sylvia, and there's Sonia, Martin, Anne, everybody who created this beautiful medicine that we've been really building momentum. Lucy, Martin from the Netherlands, Maud from Austria, Araya, you made it! 3:30 a.m. from Australia. I'm so happy you're here. That is amazing. Wow, that is true commitment and following through. Wow, this is beautiful. I'm really happy. So let's get this started. Okay. Vanessa is happy for your presence, Araya. Okay, so take a moment to really just drop into this space and feel the beauty and the magic of the alignment, and how much you've been showing up for 5 days and how much this is for you. You've created this. I didn't plan for this. It just came through me yesterday in my bath, in my power cleansing bath, and it was like so clear that I had to offer this to you, and this is really what you've been really needing to receive. So this is me being of service, and so take the time to presence the power of your deep longing, and how you were able to create that. We were able to create that as a container. Yes, and fully receive your intention for today, for showing up, for watching this. If you're watching the replay, the recording, yes, why? Why are you here? Why are you showing up? What is your intention? And take responsibility fully for what comes to you. Just receive it. You're receiving yourself as you're receiving your intention. And you can drop in the chat, what is the intention for your presence today? What is it that you're seeking to receive within you or within this tribe? What is the wisdom that you are ready to receive? Yeah, my intention is really to be of service, and that what came to me may this flow and circulate and have ripple effects, like really into this dimension, but also other dimensions of time and space. And yes, may you fully receive, and may this flow of abundance just circulate through time, that we all get to give and receive everything that we are and that we put out there in the world. Yes, walk my path without fears of the unknown, remembrance. Lauren, you did your video. I can't watch it now, but that's amazing. I'm so happy you're showing up. Trying to discover my soul path and purpose. So discovering your soul path and purpose, yes, claim it. Claim it. There's no hesitation here. It's really just receiving fully what comes to you. My intention is to keep this lovely energy going and to receive what? Keep this going to receive what? Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna get started because there's a lot of things that I want to share with you today. As I said, I've prepared a presentation to have some visuals and to really be able to guide you through this. We're going to do an activation also at the end. I'm still channeling in true if I should do this now or at the end or both. Maud wants to be in service, reconnect, and remember old wisdom. Natalia wants to grow and understand her soul intention for this life experience. Yes. Thank you for showing up. I'm not reading the Facebook comments right now because I'm on Zoom. You can find the information on the page if you want to join us on the Zoom room. Voila. Okay, so we're gonna start with an energy activation just to really drop down. Yeah, I want to ground the energy and harmonize the fields so that we can really receive and clear what's in the way of you receiving. So just come into a place of surrender and peace within. So you get to drop down into your body, your sacred temple, your sacred space, and yeah, and be one with yourself. Be with what is. Just notice what's coming up for you. If there's excitement or resistance or doubts, just really feel into it. You don't want to bypass it. You just really want to honor what's coming up for you and know that everything is okay. Everything that is being shown to you is ready to be released. You really get to acknowledge it. Yes, with dignity. So acknowledge who you are right now with dignity. And go under that. Yes, go under what's coming up for you. There you go. Okay, so I'm feeling already the energy being more grounded. So calling in my highest self to support your highest self into a place of receptivity, of allowing, of deep knowing, and of clear direction to move you forward. To let go of the stagnation and the paralysis and to go into motion and to walk in your path, becoming, creating, and standing for who you are. Yes. I feel already so much more elevation in the frequency, in the energy field. So declare what you're ready to let go of here now, and what you are ready to receive today. Yes, so be it. And maybe we guided and protected, and a flow of grace and effortless flow. Yeah, just like the water in the river who knows the way, who finds its way through the rocks and does it with grace and aliveness and so much fluidity and strength and flow. Yes. And may this has a ripple effect in our lives, in your communities, in the world, and in the impact that you are meant to create in this world. Oh. And sorry for those who were in the waiting room, my eyes were closed. So you can, when you're ready, resurface here. Feel free to use the chat. This is a sacred space. You can drop in what came up for you, what you want to present and make clear for yourself, for your conscience, for your whole being, that your whole being receives what you just received in this activation, this small activation. All right, release that old patterns that no longer serve me. Yes, what is it? What is that old pattern? Becky, no more hesitating and doubting, walking the path of my soul. Yes. Okay. Releasing self-doubt and criticism. Thank you. Okay. I have just shared. Yes, I felt the grounding. I'm seeking organization and flow. Releasing self-judgment. Yes. Keep it coming. I have just shared. Yes, I felt the grounding. I'm synchronization. Did you hear that? Sorry, that was my... For some reason, I pressed the Facebook live. That was funny. Okay, can you see the banner, the 5-day challenge banner? Yes? Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna go back to... Yes, okay. Welcome to this Priestess Activation Masterclass, and I'm seeing some new people who joined in. Kimberly, it's great to see you. Yes, have some energy support in here. Tiffany, be engaged and grounded in my woman path from Adrienne. This is great. Okay. Let's get started. Priestess Activation Masterclass. Welcome. And this is what we're going to cover today, and I will share with you exactly what is a priestess. Yes. What are the 3 keys to unlock the secrets of your priestess path, and how to step into your path of the priestess, the 3 initiations, how to embody your inner priestess, and I will share with you gateways to your priestess path. So this will bring clarity to you. You will feel like you're no longer alone. You'll feel some resonance. You'll have gained some inner wisdom, some tools. You'll have more clarity that will bring you a driving force to really step into more clarity. You'll also have some clear, some clear next steps for you if you want to take this path deeper. This is not necessarily for everyone, but just know that it's a path of recognizing deep felt sense and intuition and acting on that to build a strained connection with your inner guidance, with your frequency. So if you're feeling something, it's a place where you get to really expand and allow yourself to enter your field, to become reality, to be real, to be true. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions along the way. I'll be happy to either answer on the spot or flow with it later if I know that it's going to come later in the presentation. And so what's coming for you now is here what you're not going to get. So it's a path of embodiment and experimentation. So it's not a university diploma. There's great mystery, there's embodiment, there's leap of faith. There's really just allowing for that. So know that you're gonna discover your path as you walk it. Yes. And the more energy flows or attention goes, so the more you will invest of your being and your trust and your devotion, the more you will receive of that, the more you will receive of yourself. And I see you taking notes, and this is great. Some of this will really come to a different place than your mental space. This is a path of experimenting. This is a path of being. And so know that everything that I'm sharing is encoded. And so just receiving that is already allowing that to enter your life. So make sure that you're present from a quality of presence that allows for you to receive fully, and it's good to have some structure and some guidelines, but also know that this comes to a deeper place of receptivity. Sounds good? Yes? Excellent. So I will share with you my path. Then we will go into the presentation, and I will have an offer for you at the end. And I will have a next step if you want to take it deeper and know how you can work with me. We will go for about 90 minutes total. We're already 20 minutes in. So that's it for our curve for today. All right. Still more people joining us. Okay, so who am I and my radical stance? So there should be my name in there. Catherine Tétrault-Ayotte. Yes, I was born and raised in Montreal, Canada. I'm a mother. I'm a lover. This is kind of like my roots, but my path has really been a path of healing, of becoming that inner priestess that I am, soul path activator, and standing in dignity, and really knowing that this is the calling that I received, and I've chosen to receive it and to step into it and to do the work. My radical stance: you are the creator of your universe. Yes, just take a moment to receive that. And so my story is a story of believing that I'm the creator of the universe, of my universe. Sorry for that. I was a corporate leader for 15 years, and I was in a place of feeling not aligned, feeling like a victim, feeling that, the system is not for me, and, the system is this and that. And really, I was not able to step into my leadership because I was so scared and I didn't know how, and I really needed guidance, and I really had to cross. I had to cross the, I would say, the layers that were blocking me from my inner power, from my inner connection to self. And so as I started opening up to something bigger than me, life started supporting me and things opened up, and I started to walk my own path of transformation, stepping into roles of holding space. And this is really how it evolved and grew and grew. And it's gonna grow as you put love and energy and effort into it. Um, so I really think that you are the creator of your universe. And my calling is to activate leaders to step into their calling to create the new earth and to do what is required and to learn to be of service and to change, to really create those new playgrounds of creation, those new structures for the human to embody, to actualize itself, that it doesn't have to be in the square anymore. There's circles now. There's big playgrounds where we get to be fully ourselves and step in. So this is who I am. This is my radical stance. And so know that if you work with me, I will activate your visions in the other dimensions, in the invisible and in the dream space, but I will also help you bring this to reality. Bring this to become in the 3D reality, to be aligned with yourself, with how you talk, with how you act, with what you create. That this becomes, all aligned and constantly realigned, to create this new paradigm. And there's 100 of us. There's going to be 1,000, and this is just the beginning. This is really exciting time for our humanity. So know that if you're here, you are receiving the calling. You are receiving, those higher waves of frequency, and it's your time to receive. Okay, yeah. So if you can all stay muted for the presentation so we have clear space. Thank you. Okay, so let's dive into it. What is a priestess? So I want to share with you a quote that I read in a book by Azra and Serene Bertrand, The Womb Awakening. And this, if there's some men in the audience, this is good for men too. If you're an alchemist, if you are a sacred masculine walking your path, you are more than welcome in this space. And you are actually needed. So for the sake of this presentation, I've used the term priestess. And I want to make sure that you know that you are welcome here. So please step into this space just as much as women. So a priestess or an alchemist is a woman who devotes her life to embodying the sacred teachings and performs ceremony, ritual, and prophecy, and practices the feminine healing arts. So the priestess serves the spiritual needs of her community, and she serves souls. She feeds the soul, yeah. She feeds that part of ourselves that we have forgotten for so long. In order to do that, she becomes a vessel where she receives what is needed, and so that she's able to hold sacred space. She shows up with courage and grace, and she does the inner work that is needed. So the priestess crosses the worlds of the seen and the unseen. She's able to navigate through her intuitions, her dreams, her feelings. Like when you feel something and then it actually comes. So it's about making that real. It's about acknowledging that and learning to harness that power of feeling the invisible. This is an actual thing. It's not like if you hear sometimes, you know, messages or voices or just really deep knowing, just know that it's a gift, and so you get to learn to receive it. So a priestess is a space holder, she's a vessel for the divine, and she is devoted to serving the awakening and to walk her path of beauty. She holds space for transformation. She feels what is required for her tribe, for her community. She does what it takes. So there's really something that has to do with leadership. When you know what is required, you take the woman, you go in the woods, you know, that's what they did, you know. They went in the woods, they did the ceremony, and then they went back to the children and the man, and life could go on because they took care of aligning what had to be aligned. They took care of calling what had to be called. So, you know, perhaps you have a conception of a priestess that you have to be in poverty, or, you know, be in chastity, or, you know, this is part of the, yeah, this is part of probably some history. And so what I'm sharing here is applicable to 2021, as we're all incarnated here. And just know that you get to expand what is your conception of a priestess. And the word priestess actually just helps you embodies more dignity and more of that, you know, being grounded in your sacred power, in your receptivity power, in your capacity to feel, and know that this is enough. You know that you are enough, you know, and that from that place you get to act and create. Yes. So that was my intro. And if I can actually streamline that, what is a priestess? The priestess is in service. So one of my mentor always says, service is not sacrifice. You know, it's about knowing what is required. She is focused. It's not about herself. So whenever your stuff is coming up and you need to do the clearing and energetically realign, you do it, and then you do what is required. And this is how, if, you know, a lot of you are afraid to show up in their gifts because you're afraid to not being enough and to not know what to say or what to do, this is about you. So you get to put that on the side and not make it about you, because it really blocks actually you from fully shining. So the priestess is a mystic. She really leads her life from her soul. She learns to, you know, she's been initiated into some practices by some guides or sisters and brothers. She learns some ritual practices, ceremonial work, holding space, invoking, receiving guidance, feminine wisdom. She's connected to the earth and to Father Sky. So there's really a mystical realm in the priestess that you get to fully accept and say yes to, and start finding the tools of connection and the tools of embodiment in order to fully embody your priestess. And so number 3, a priestess invokes divine guidance to support her path and beyond. So it's not a place where you have to do it all. It's not a place where you push. It's not a place where you control. It's a place where you call for and you receive what's been sent to you. And it's not always how you think it's going to come. So that's the grace of it. That's, you know, learning to give thanks. That's the first thing, is to give thanks. It's all for you. It's all for your path. Even if, you know, you were expecting something else. So we're just like really leaving that paradigm of like control and square and, so tell me what is required, give me some guidance, show me the way. I am willing, show me the way. And then being a priestess is really a way of life. So it's not, I don't know how to say, like it's something very sacred. It's something very sacred, and learning to embody that, to receive that. And Lauren is asking, what did you find on your path that showed up differently than you expected? Everything, every day. Well, I shared with you that when I lost my job, that was the first really big divine manifestation of, I was asking for more space in my life, and I was asking for, perhaps working full days a week to have more space. And then I just, like, right after, I got an email and I lost my job, and I was just not expecting that, but I knew so well that it was a blessing. I knew it was a gift, but I had to do so much grieving and mourning of letting go of that, the prestige, the title, the safe social recognition of, having, the job that represents something to the outside world, where I knew that what I had to offer to the world was so much deeper, and it didn't really have a title yet. I had to create it, and nobody else would tell me how to do it, because I have the vision in myself, so you get to learn to hold space for that. Any disappointments, you can't let the disappointments, because then you're not receiving. So I think it's really a way of seeing things. Like, if you're disappointed, it's because you had an expectation. So I think for me, my manifestation really got shifted starting from that place. I wouldn't think of an example for now, because when you start, not expecting, but when you start to give thanks, there's just, the energy is different. Instead of, like, wanting, and you're giving thanks and you're receiving. Can you feel just in the energy how different that is? And it's not about, like, suffering or, being a victim. It's really not about being a victim. On the contrary, it's about, choosing not to put yourself in a position of victim. Oh, this is happening to me. This is not what I wanted, Yes. Okay. So how is this landing for all of you? Good. I just want to see my notes here. Yeah. Okay, see, we have another question. Can you give an example after you got started? Will there be a replay of this? Thank you for asking, Linda. Yes. Okay, so yes, I will make an offer for the replay at the end. I prepared a package for you. So I will share more on that at the end. Hello, dear Catherine, sister. This is a huge challenge with me. Some guidance. How to move forward. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep on going, Cindy, and thank you so much for getting engaged and putting yourself out there. We're gonna keep going, and we'll have a chance to recircle at the end on your questions. Yes. Okay. So let's keep going. Okay. 3 keys to activate your Priestess Path. Okay, so Priestess Path. Thank you, Cindy. Here you're receiving more of your feminine capacity to receive, receiving more of your deep knowing, receiving more of getting engaged and becoming the leader of your life, becoming the creator of your life. So this is all in the Priestess Path. So the three keys is willingness, commitment, and courage. So the first, number one is willingness. So are you willing to be leading your life from your soul? Are you willing to let go of what has to be let go? Are you willing to make some changes? Are you willing to create space? Are you willing to step into a place that is not comfortable? These are all like super rich and openings, you know. Are you willing to accept that there is more to what is already there? Are you willing to expand the possibilities of who you are and what you can create? Are you willing to drop some limitations you have put around yourself, around what you think you can do, what you think you are worth, you know, what you think that you can receive? So there's just all of these are keys, are really all keys that get to open up so much. And if one of them lands with you, just yes, I'm willing. Thank you, Naphtali. So if one of them lands with you, then know that this is, you know, this is a first key, willingness. And then there's number two is commitment. That's a key. So the commitment will show up sometimes, you know, every hour of the day, you will have the chance to recommit. So are you committing to let go of that pattern and show up differently? Are you willing to recommit to that soul path that is calling you? And it's always the capacity to go back to the primal intention, the primal impulse, you know, the truth of it all. Like it's very essential what it comes down to. And it's a high frequency. You have that in you, but in order to connect with it, you have to allow for it. Yes. And then number three is courage, because it does take courage. It takes courage because you're the one who knows. You're the one who has the vision. Like you know, my husband has always been super supportive, but there was a lot of things he did not understand, you know, and you can't wait for someone else to put it on a platter for you. When you speak to your loved ones, or when you start, you know, talking to friends about this, and you know, don't expect anything to receive from them. You get to hold space for you, and you get to give yourself what is needed in order to stand in integrity. And it's something that you learn. It's something that you learn because we've been conditioned to rely on others, on you know, on our partners, on, you know, the steady paycheck. Like I remember when, you know, I haven't had a steady paycheck for like 7 years now, you know, and I remember the first year how it was like, whoa, you know, crazy not to have that safety. But then just something else opens up. Just something else opens up, and you get to receive something that is different, that is calling you, and that is more important to having that safe, that false feeling of being safe, you know. Yes, well, I get it. My family thinks I'm crazy. But they think you're crazy, but they also feel something, they you get to allow them, you get to allow yourself to see them differently so that they get to see you differently. So if you always see them as like, yeah, they think I'm crazy, then you constantly remanifest that. You so so it's about expanding. Yes. I got clear messages that the people in my life needs me and my knowing and learning, even if they don't understand or accept it. Yes. They don't dare to talk about it anymore. Oh yes, I remember. Yeah, I remember. Just there's a lot of that will come from you. That's what you're gonna notice. Is a lot of times you're stuck in your fears of being seen, and you manifest awkwardness. But there's no awkwardness. It really comes from your security, and that's the feel that you put out there. But the more you get to hold space for yourself, the lesser that's what you'll receive, because that's not what you put out there. Yes. Yes. Thank you for this. My pleasure, Lucy. All right. Let's keep going. I'll take, yeah, I'll take a small break. Okay, let's keep going into this Activation Priestess Masterclass. The 3 steps to activate your Priestess Path. Okay, so the first step is to receive the calling and say yes. Okay, so this will come to you. It can come to you in the more you'll bring awareness into your life, the more you'll understand when it's a calling and when you have the opportunity to say yes. This can show up in really small things, on like, oh, do I choose to show up like I used to, or I choose to trust this time? Do I choose to say yes to something that comes my way in my field that I've manifested? Do I shut it down or do I receive it? Do I fully receive my calling? And that's, the calling, and maybe some of you know the Hero's Quest by Joseph Campbell, and that's really what this is. It's about constantly receiving the calling, going for it in the forest, in the wild, meeting some allies, meeting obstacles, crossing what has to be crossed, and then achieving, retrieving the gift, the treasure, and bringing it back to your tribe, to the community, and celebrating. And you get to repeat that many, many times. So it's about learning to, yeah, to be more out in the wild. So just put some awareness into your daily lives, and when you feel like there's a calling, and it can be as simple as, oh, I have such a calling to go for a long walk today. Am I gonna find a reason why I'm too busy to go? Oh, because I have to cook again, and because I have to do this, or I don't want to make this like, do you say yes when it's really clear what you have to do? And do you do what has to be done in order to make it happen? Or you go into, the old, whatever this shows up to you, and it's without no judgment. It's really no judgment. It's just about awareness. Yes, I feel ready and I'm asking for a calling, but maybe I just don't know what. Yes. Okay, so that's the first step. Then the second step is to release the old ceremoniously and give it thanks. Okay, so you part of the teachings that I give in my programs is how to create sacred space for yourself and for others. And when I say release the old ceremoniously, this is what I mean, is that there's it's a ritual, there's a gesture, there's an intention, there's a clear container, and you are able to receive and to acknowledge what has to be released. And that takes humility. That takes humility to say, okay, I'm ready to release the fact that I'm super defensive and that I want to control everything in this specific way that was shown to me, that I don't want to show up like that in my life anymore. So are you acknowledging it, then creating space, and then you give thanks to it because it's part of you, it got you where you are. It was a blessing, it was a way for you to survive, and now you are giving it thanks because it's gonna help you shift. It's gonna help you shift your prophecy and activate something else with so much courage and dignity and humility. And that's it. The third step is shift your prophecy and take a leap. So when you shift your prophecy, this can be on the small things, and but that add up to a bigger thing where, you know, 10 years ago I was feeling powerless, I was feeling like I was a victim, I was feeling abused by the patriarchy system, I felt like I had no self-esteem, I was burnt out, and then I made all the little steps that shifted that prophecy because I took a leap, because I chose to leave what didn't serve me anymore, and I started stepping into sacred containers and being seen in communities as the real me. And that takes a lot of courage to get into, vulnerability and learning trust again. And then, yes, I can explain what I mean by prophecy. You can say that the prophecy is a story, is a pattern, is what has been coming up in your life all the time. Whether this has to do with, um, you know, being a victim or being in a place where people step into your boundaries, or where you feel disempowered, or constantly, like, what are you constantly manifesting? Yeah, that is constantly showing up, and that this is not what you want to manifest anymore. And that you have a prophecy is actually in the larger sense of it, is, your prophecy could be to, you know, re-empower your people. It could be like, like in the stories, they would say, oh, well, the prophecy that was received by the elders was that, planet was going to awaken and there was going to be a new level of conscious that was going to be born, which is what is happening here right now. Um, okay, and then I have a question around holding space. What is holding space? So it's okay for the word prophecy? So holding space? Yes, thank you. Okay, perfect. So holding space will be like you can say that being a leader is more accessible. But for me, when you're really holding space, is that you are being fully present to what is happening in a specific contained space. And as you become a space holder, then what happens in those safe space is transformation, is growth, is healing, is shifting, is transmuting from the old to the new, is going from shame and guilt to joy and love, is releasing, is shedding the layers. So in order to be able to do that, then you need to be held in a space. There has to be someone who holds the space energetically, who contains it, who has an intention, who knows how to open and close the space, who knows how to call in the energy, invoke some support, who has some allies. So this is what it is to hold space. So what I used to do as a counselor in my sessions, yes, you were holding space as a counselor in your sessions. So you can hold space for, for you can hold space for, your child when you're with them, and you're holding space for them so that they learn to be free, but also to be safe. There's many ways you can hold space, but as you are all here in order to become of service and step into your path, then we can imagine that you're holding space for others as they are growing, bringing awareness, transforming, inviting the new in. So does that make sense for you? All right, we're gonna keep going. It sounds like containing and setting boundaries on many fronts. Well, I mean, when you're fully in your power, you don't need boundaries because you just know like where you stand. But I would say that, holding space in a ceremony, yes, there is a container. There is a clear, like, energetical and physical container that holds space with you. It could be like a circle, it could be people, it could be nature, it could be something at the center. There can be literal boundaries. It really depends of, the setting and a lot of things, but I would say that there's something around boundaries will just be about like, who you are, what you're standing for, what you're creating, what the intention is. There's just like ownership and it's contained. Yeah. That's good. Okay, let's keep going. Yes, benefits from awakening. When you awaken your inner priestess, you will strengthen your intuition, your self-trust, and your self-esteem. This will help you manifest your highest potential and creativity. It will help you remove masks and illusions, and it will harmonize and upgrade your energetic frequency and of those around you, because this has ripple effects. Yes. So there are many more. This is just to give you a first layer of it. Yes. Okay. Your 3 initiations into your Priestess Path. And again, priestess or alchemist, if there are men watching this, the sacred masculine, embodying its sacredness and embodying the feminine wisdom, the feminine capacity to receive. So if you're walking your path as a priest, as an alchemist, these are also accessible to you. So the first initiation is to embody your true self in a sacred container. So it's to learn to show up, like really show up, like be all of you in a place where you feel safe, and it's kind of like a laboratory. And then you just receive yourself, because there's resonance in sacred spaces and circles. So others are mirrors of you, so they will send you back who you are, and you will learn to love yourself. So that's an initiation on its own, because it's really hard to let go of that masks and that way you're used to show up. Let's say in your I hear that there's a lot of career moves here. So in your old job, in your old roles, in, you know, the way everybody's kind of like expecting you to show up, and then you're like all of a sudden you're practicing to show up as your true self in a sacred container. The more you do that, the more it's going to be in you, and the more you're going to be like that with everyone else. And that's how you learn to really embody your true self. So that's your first initiation. Then the second initiation, I mean, these are initiation, you know, there are many more initiations that can happen in time and space, you know, in like actual containers or reality. Like if we were together in a ceremony, you know, there are more initiations. I guess this is like the first three that comes to mind for me as you start walking this path. So it's to really embody your true self in a sacred container, then commit to accountability and embody completion. So that means that you start doing what you say you're going to do. So if you're saying that you're no longer satisfied with a situation and you want to change something about it, then you start doing it and you receive the goodness of completion, the goodness of starting to believe in yourself, of not just, you know, it's not just a fantasy or an illusion or just a place where you get to whine. It's actually a place where you come into action and you walk your talk. And then you start believing in yourself. And that's, you know, Starhawk, that's what she says. You know, making magic is about believing in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then you can't believe in what you're doing. So how do you start believing in yourself is when you start doing what you say you're going to do constantly. And then you start just, you know you can do it. You know you can change your reality. Okay. And the third initiation is to be visible in a tribe. So start showing up in your gifts in a tribe and starting to hold space for yourself, for others, closing the loop, you know, like having the impulse to, I don't know, sing a song or to offer some of you in a tribe, then that really is an initiation on its own in your own power of creation and following through on your intuition. And that's how you really learn to strengthen that muscle. Mm-hmm. So just to tell you, an initiation is an opening into the preciousness of life, into its sacredness. So it's like everything can be a ceremony in life if you just put that intention into it. So you can really become your own medicine as you start embodying this. And if you walk further in the path, you know, an initiation is really a sacred ceremony that gives you access to more of yourself by entering, you know, into connection with your deep longing. So I saw your question, Lauren, and as I answered before, I don't have any example to share you that things showed up differently than I expected. Did you always know you would hold containers for growth for New Earth as your priestess self? Yes, I always knew I wanted to do that. I always knew I wanted to do that. And that's what I prayed for 3 or 4 years. I prayed that I would be holding space for transformation and growth for women in integrity with myself, in serving my community in a capacity where I can hold open and close the spaces that I hold. That was the prayer that I say and that I would, you know, dance, say, write sing. It really was with me. And at some point, I just knew that in order to make that happen, I had to cross my resistances and fears of being invisible and taking risks and trusting and showing up and being imperfect and allowing myself to learn and all of the above. So, yes. Ha, thank you. Yes, okay, I'm happy I was able to answer your question. Now I understand what you meant. Okay, how to embody your inner priestess. Okay, this came up. Woman, goddess, queen. So you take responsibility as a woman. So a priestess, it's like you let go of the inner child and you really take responsibility for what everything that's showing up in your life. You take responsibility for it because you have manifested it. And you take responsibility with, not like a place of condemn or judge, just like a place of ownership, a place of creation, a place of knowing that you can shift that. So this is really like you taking a stand for your integrity and for recognize where you have manifested the old prophecy, the old story, and where you can take responsibility and shift that. So instead of blaming society, blaming your job, blaming others, blaming a lack of this, a lack of that, is how can I take responsibility for this? So that's the number one thing, really, to embody your inner priestess, take responsibility. And the second one is to treat yourself like a goddess. And so it's really about coming into a place where you learn self-love, like you learn that connection to this infinite source of unconditional love that is within you. So you learn to love yourself, to be soft, to take care, to have joy, with feeling like the outer represents the inner. And for such a long time, I had a problem with that because um, in my corporate world, um, it was a lot about image. And like I would wear like super tight clothes and I would wear too much makeup. And I worked for a cosmetic company. I worked for L'Oreal and it was like, I was like clubbing every day at work. And at some point when I got into my spiritual path, I just like let go of all of that and I was like wearing super loose clothes and not really taking care of my appearance. And this has came later in the path where I allowed myself to actually feel good about how I feel and not being ashamed of like the beauty or the radiance or having fun and joy with it, with that feminine aspect of myself that I always like to have, like nice jewels, and that was part of me, and I didn't have to be ashamed of that anymore. I didn't have to be ashamed that it was all that I was, because for a part of my life I felt like all that I was how I look. How do I look? Am I going to be loved on how I look? And now, because there's the inner strength, there's the roots, there's the knowing, there's the integrity, and then yes, I can look like how I look, and actually it feels good, and I should treat myself like that because that's the frequency you put in your body. Just imagine how your thoughts and your behaviors and your care, how much this impacts your energy field. You're made of water, so like whatever. Water has memory, water is alive, so you're just constantly activating you into something. And where are you activating you into? You know, down or high? Like are you refusing to be who you are in your in all of that you are? And I'm seeing that there's some comments. Yes. I mean, and I'm not judging anything, you know, like being comfortable. I mean, I value comfort, and it's just about, you know, learning to not be ashamed of who you are, and um, treating yourself good, taking care of your energy, of um, your spiritual vibration. Um, yes, totally resonates. Yeah. Mm. It becomes a job. Yeah, when you're told you're pretty your whole life. Thank you, Nancy. Um, and so it has to be with the outer, but also with the inner. When I say treat yourself like a goddess, is really around taking responsibility for creating time to take care of yourself and not being in the guilt or shame. And especially as women, we're caretakers, and we get to have needs too and take care of our needs. Otherwise, the whole tribe suffers. You know, when we're out of alignment, everybody's out of alignment. So it's really like a responsibility for what we put out there in our families. And act as queen, leader of our tribe is the third step to embody your inner priestess. So to not being afraid of having leadership and of knowing where you're going with that and having a plan and holding space for that. Um, and so this will help you step into holding space and becoming the creator of your life, is having that leadership aspect, which is the sacred masculine, you know. So it really always comes down to embodying the capacity to receive, but also the capacity to hold space. So it's feminine and masculine. Yes. So let me know what's coming up for you, what you're getting out of this. How was this supportive and in alignment with what you expected to receive today? What is perhaps an inspiration or something new that is like like an moment? Yes. I was an air host first, all about showing up perfectly since 3 years, only wearing makeup when I'm up to. Some answers I seek are inside me somewhere. They are all inside of you, Kristen. Yes. Hmm. Yes. So is there more clarity around? Everything makes sense now. Oh, Isabel, that is beautiful. I'm so happy to hear the resonance, and thank you for showing up. You've really been committed to this challenge and fully showing up, and I can't wait to see your website. Yes. All right. So it's good to feel the resonance, and yes, thank you, Anne. I've walked a similar path, Araya, from the other realm. Araya in the sleep in the night realm, all the way from Australia. Okay, very inspiring. More clear about taking responsibility. Yes, good, Adrienne. Now I feel more love for myself. I feel like I can illuminate more strength and even beauty. I love when you speak of courage. It's a great word. Yes, courage. And yes, courage is not about not being scared. The scares, this, you know, there's always fears, because the more you step into the more there's things that are accessible. It's just about holding space for you and asking to be supported and guided, and that's true courage, you know. Capacity to hold space is masculine and to receive is feminine. Yes. I noticed I changed prophecy within me years ago. Now it's about showing up and living it. Yes. Yes. And you change, you know, the more you change your prophecy every day as you take aligned action. So it's really great to hear your resonance. Beyond grateful for tying up loose ends to the Priestess Path knowledge. Yes, Lauren. Fighting in the masculine to be a leader with my tribe is very disempowering. Allowing the feminine, I feel much more empowered to give. Yes. Yes. It's about dismantling those patterns of fighting where we can actually just be walking together. Yes, Kristen, I'm glad you're here too. You can watch the replays on the Facebook group for the first few days. They will be around for a few days. This is you got the best of it, the juicy masterclass. So for those of you who who are like, okay, I'm ready, like bring it on. I want to take those steps, but I don't know how, and I need some guidance, or I'm still, yeah, I really want to keep walking this path and this, keeping this energy and this flow, keep the juice coming in. So I have two offers today. Um, I can't wait for something to happen. Yes. Yes, hold a circle and hug all of you right now. Yes. All right. So, speaking of aligned action, okay. So, the first gateway I have for you is a simple offer. So I'm offering you 3 activation series that I've just channeled in last week. This is really to upgrade your frequency and step into your leadership as a creator of light. So it has to do with, yeah, really receiving that power of creator and shifting your frequency and making aligned actions. So embodying that sacred masculine that holds space. And that brings like clarity, brings clarity. And I've decided to add 2 bonuses to that. So the recording of the Priestess Activation Masterclass, so you will get lifetime access to that, and also a one-on-one Priestess Vision session with me. So if you want to grab that, I will just put this in the chat. Yes. And I will put it on the Facebook feed after we finish in about 15 minutes. So this is the first offer that I have for you. So I mean, if it's calling you, I would say just grab it. I normally the 3 activation series is $197, and I've discounted it to $97, and I've added those 2 bonuses, so you can get a lot of value, and I'm sure you're gonna want to watch this replay again, as there was a lot of information and insight for you. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'm gonna put the presentation back on in just a moment. Share screen. Okay. What are the activations? Okay, so what is an activation in general, you mean? Or the names of the 3 activations? In general. Okay, good. Okay, so in general, you want to look at it as they're recorded, the activations, yes. So an activation is a moment where you come into presence within yourself. We did one at the beginning, so you get to receive more clarity on what you want to let go, and you get to receive higher frequencies of to support you on your path. So this is kind of, some people would call it a meditation. I would say that it's kind of like a boosted meditation, where you can go really deeper within and receive more of what that you are needing to shift out, to unlock, to to support you. So the three activations are audios. You will have them and have access to them at home as much as you want to listen to them. There really are a series. So the series, I mean, they go together. There's a build up. There's really a thought process. It's not like three activations that I made. I really channeled them and specifically created them last week. So it's really all aligned with the energies of what's moving right now. So Catherine is the package sort of a woman empowerment, acknowledging the divine and priestess in each of us and how to harness that. Yes, I mean absolutely. That's your gateway to your priestess path. So that is you telling your being, okay, I'm ready for more, and I'm getting intimate with it. I'm getting engaged with it. And that's how it showed up. You know, if I can give you an example, how it showed up for me, um, I was called to create more, and I received an opportunity to join a leadership circle, and I said yes. You know, I was scared. You know, there were a lot of things that I didn't know how it was going to go about, and I decided to create that for my life so that I would always go back to my vision and share it. So if all of this is really calling for you, Cindy, and you want even more of that, I mean, you can absolutely get the package, and you will have a session with me, and we can talk specifically on, you know, what is your vision, what has been blocking you, and how I can support you. And I'm taking this opportunity also to share with you, um, if you want to go in even like a deeper container, there's also a gateway for that. So I don't want to overload you with information. Let's say that this is the first initiation. The $97 offer is a first initiation, and you know, if you're called for it, just grab it. It's a limited time offer. The second initiation, so I'm offering a sacred container, the Bold and Embodied Mentorship Program. It's a 6-month program. It's, I mean, it's on invitation only. It's very a high-level transformative container. So if you're called to really embody and step fully into your path, you are an alchemist, you are a priestess, you are walking your path, you are looking to leap forward and get supported. So just know that there's a space and time for that, and where you can get some accountability and release your resistances and fully embrace your path of service and integrity. So yay, Lauren is happy. So you are a fit for this program if you are ready to leap forward into your soul mission, you are willing to lead your life from your soul, you want to be more visible in your gifts and stepping into service, you are committed to your spiritual journey. This is not a certification, you know, this is really an embodiment space, and you are done with detours and you really want to step in. So this is really a gateway, a portal for you. This is really how I talked about this leadership program. Yes, Lauren, thank you. So I want to share with you, okay, if you want to learn more about this program, you can direct message me. Or I'm going to share here in the chat. You can fill out this applying form to qualify for a call, and we can talk about what is calling you. Just having a problem with my screen here. Can you still see the screen share? Yes, okay, perfect. All right, excellent. Okay, so we have about 10 minutes here. I'll be happy to answer your questions and really get the most of this space that we have all together. Yes. Is there any questions around everything that you've received today, around yes, I feel so grateful for your invitation to this circle. Thank you, Becky. Inspiring, encouraging, lifting the veil quite a bit tonight. Your support is and guidance is highly appreciated. Thank you, Becky. You're such a blessing, and thank you for doing the work. Thank you, Becky. Oh, okay, I'm receiving. Okay, I get to receive now. Hi. So Nancy, the leadership program is live and it starts in July. Yes, and the group is really forming strongly, and I'm so grateful. I'm really grateful for this. Yes, merci Isabelle. Oh yes, it's true. We were finished with an activation. Yes, I did call that out. Catherine, I was challenged so much from this activation and my gratitude activation yesterday. My mind is blown. Amazing. So happy you're receiving, Lauren, and you know, you fully stepped in, so you're not in the wobbly zone anymore. And so I really salute everything that you had to come across, right? Thank you, Vanessa. Yes. All right. So we'll stop the share of my screen and we're gonna wrap this session with an activation. So just know that if you want to get the activations, I will put the link again. Okay, here. Okay, $97 activation package on your Priestess Path. Here it is. And if you want to hear more about the program, the 6-month program, you can direct message me or you can fill in this form to qualify for a free call, and I will get back to you within 24 hours with my team so that we can get on a call and see how this aligns and if you're a fit for the program. It's good? Good for everyone? Okay. We're going to do an activation to wrap up those 5 days. Yes. So come into a place of stillness within. A place of receptivity, of allowance. Just allow your nervous system to feel grounded and supported as all of this new information, codes, and frequency were dropped in. And let all the new awareness integrate. We're going to do an activation to integrate all the new awareness into your being, into your cells, into your body. So that becomes in the realm of the inner knowing, something that is Just so grounded and rooted and supportive. So presence and put awareness on what is the most inspiring, enlightening, new awareness that came to you today. What is the one thing you don't want to forget? What is the one thing that you want this to be you? You want this to be integrated in you. Just really put a word, a feeling, presence that in your inner realm, in your conscience. And you're going to activate yourself, and you're going to bring this into integration and embodiment. So put this very special word and feeling in your heart. Come into the core of your heart, into the heart core of your heart. It's the seed of manifestation, and it shows up as a small bean of golden light, and it's in the center of your heart. And you put it there with a lot of courage and awareness and love. So really breathe deeply into the center of your heart. Into that golden light of awareness. That new blessing, this new guidance, this new knowing. And you want to breathe into it and give it wings, give it space, give it water, give it light. You want this to grow, so breathe into it as if you are actually blowing your heart into a bigger sphere. So you will imagine this golden bean actually becomes your heart. It becomes a sphere around your heart. And you're able to grow that with your intention, with your breath, with your presence. And so breathe into that and grow it bigger and bigger and bigger. Yes. Yes, and pour even more light and love into it. And this sphere of golden light is now growing into your chest, into your heart, into your belly. It's growing, it's growing, it's growing, it's growing down into your legs, into your hara, your belly, your womb, in your pelvic bowl, down into your legs, and down into the earth. And then there's just a ball of light all over you. It's a big sphere of light. And with your breath, you're going to connect down into the center of your feet and bring a golden thread of guidance down into the earth, into the rocks, into the magma, and you are connected to the center, to the magnetic center of the earth. And you breathe into that small golden bean of light in the center, that new awareness, that new knowing. And you connect this knowing with your breath to the center of the earth. You bring it all the way down. And now you're going to pull with your breath from the center of the earth. You're going to pull all the lineage, all the root, all the ground, all the safety, all the trust, and you're going to bring this inside in your field of energy. And this becomes like a big bed. It's like a clouded golden bed that's under you, that's supporting, that's really like grounded but not heavy. It's really uplifting. So you're actually, your field is being uplifted now, and you're gonna go from the center of your heart. You're gonna breathe into your throat, into your head, into the center of your third eye, and go all the way up to the clouds, to the sun, through the cosmos, the galaxies, and all the way into your star. And now you can feel that golden cloud that lifts you up and expands the possibilities, expand your awareness, expand your willingness and your courage. Yes, just really breathe it in, and if it blocks, just bring more light and love into your being with your breath, and pull the expansion in. And then you're gonna meet in the center of your being. You're gonna bridge the masculine and the feminine, and there's a reunion happening in the center of your core. There's the deep knowing blends with your present self, and the allowing of the feminine is being really, is receiving the masculine, is being penetrated by the sacred masculine. There's a divine union. It's really soft, like amber, golden honey. And just everything really melts in and softens in the middle of your being, while the energies of the sky and the earth, of the mother and the father, of the feminine and the masculine, come into reunion. And you are whole, you are complete, you are enough, you are so abundant and vibrant, and you are a creator. And you have the power to create your reality. And you have the power and the courage and the willingness to impact this new earth, this new resourced humanity. And you are standing tall within yourself as the inner priestess and the alchemist that you are. And come into a place of inner declaration on what you are claiming here and now that will support you in your next endeavor. And claim that for yourself now. Yes. And now the wave is going back into the ocean, and you come into a place of deep gratitude, bowing down your head in front of your heart, recognizing the dignity and the greatness of your heart, of your soul, of the inner knowing, bowing down everything that you're still out to discover, and you give thanks to everything that came into clarity and alignment and awareness today. Yes, and it's complete. I want to give thanks to the guiding lights of my life and of this container. I want to give thanks to each and every one of you who showed up, giving thanks for the protection and the guidance that we received. Yes. And you can go return to the outer realm when you are ready. Slowly move your fingers. Yes, thank you, Araya, for receiving. Yes. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, everyone. Yes. That was amazing. Thank you, Sister Bless. Thank you, Lauren. I will never look back. Yes. Thank you, Maude. Thank you for stepping in to your Priestess Path, Maude. So much awareness, so much knowing. Thank you, all of you who showed up. And yes, thank you, Tiffany, for your gifts and your service. Thank you so much. And so I'm receiving that, there's more that wants to be offered. It's like never ending, this flow. So I'm gonna offer a Q&A session. So for those of you who's still out to receive more, I'm gonna offer a Q&A session. Yes, this is not planned, so most likely tomorrow. I'll share this in the Facebook group and by email. So thank you so much for showing up. If you want to receive the activation, I will drop down the links again. Okay. Thank you. Yes, Cindy from South Africa, and for Araya in the darkness of Australia. Yes, it's really good to be connected. Okay, so these are the links once again. Merci, Adrien. Merci. Thank you for showing up. Okay, and I will put the link on Facebook right after we hang up. Okay. So I'm going to be closing this space now. Thank you all for showing up and receiving. And it's a wrap on the Activation Priestess Masterclass. And thank you for showing up last minute. Okay. Many blessings to all of you. Thank you, Nancy. Much love.